What's going on, YouTube? Wanted to bring you a part 4 of my AT3K revisit, and in this I just wanted to basically do a proof of concept, make sure that what I have actually works. So this turret that I have basically mimics exactly what the end result of this whole modification should be. And I was able to pick up some new barrels, although I am not sure that I will use these. More of that a little bit later. But I opened up my AT3K and I put in this turret with these new barrels, just so I could see, does this work? Does this function? You know, do the barrels just kind of push out as I fire? And so far, everything works really good. There is no indexing on this blaster. Obviously, I don't have any spacers, and everything fires really well. I tested out some darts. I'll show the FPS of the original and then the FPS of the new blaster, just so you can kind of see it. So I was really happy that the turret design works well in this style or this modification. No complaints at all about this. So I've been looking for a barrel material for a while. I haven't been successful in finding a good supplier. A bunch of the suppliers that I did find, basically I needed to buy like 500 of these, and obviously it's just not worthwhile. I don't think very many people will want to purchase these barrels, so I need to hopefully buy some in a small batch, a small quantity. And I did find a local seller that makes these, which these are from. And he and I talked, and he asked me what I was doing, you know, trying to explain everything. And he kept trying to tell me what he thought I needed. And I was trying to tell him, no, I kind of know what I'm talking about. Like, this is what I want. So these are thin wall PETG barrels. And you can tell that because I can essentially squish these barrels really easily. These are pretty delicate. If this were to fall, you know, they would bend fairly easy. Now, the original barrels that I found, these are thick wall, so you can kind of see if it takes a little bit more to push. You can obviously still squish them, but they're a lot more sturdy. You know, you can grab these in a bundle and they're not just gonna crush. I think these would, because I can take these 4 and, you know, I'm not putting much pressure, but those are pretty delicate. And I was trying to get the seller to send me the thick wall barrels. He sent me thin wall barrels, and so these work well, although they're more delicate. So I'm trying to get him to just say, you know what, let me buy some thick wall ones, send me 2 more thin wall ones, and then hopefully, you know, I can at least test those out. And if those work, I've got, I think, like 4 more AT3Ks, and then I can just use those with this new design. So this was a great proof of concept that I was able to test out, and I'm glad I got these so that I could do this test, because unfortunately I just didn't have any other more barrel material. So one of the issues that I found, and maybe it's not really an issue, I'm not sure, but when I fired off one of the darts in one of the barrels actually curled up. So it came through halfway and it basically kind of folded over on itself. I think that might be because this is a thinner wall, because there's more space, and that dart is probably just kind of bouncing down the barrel, probably snagged just enough to curl over. I retested with a different dart and not an issue. I've never seen that happen with these thicker wall ones that we've had before, so I don't know. So that's why I am at least trying to get the thick wall barrels from the seller. If I can't, at least I know these work and the ranges were pretty much the same, if not a little bit better. But again, it's very inconsistent, but at least, roughly in the same wheelhouse. So that's all I have for you guys today on this AT Rike visit.
AT Rike visit. AT Rike visit. AT Rike visit.
If you have any questions, suggestions, or anything, just leave them in the comments. I pretty regularly check them. I don't get many anyway, so I'm always happy to answer questions or, just tell me what you guys think. Anyway, I will show you some shots of just at least the loading and firing process. This whole thing is actually not pieced together very well. It was just very quick and dirty, just so I can obviously just make sure that this works. So the best part about this system is that these barrels can be removed pretty easily, and you can just put them back in, slot them down, and it's all set. And again, they are snug, they're not going anywhere, as opposed to the original modification that you can kind of see there are low spots here from drilling out that you had to fill in. There is brass inside of there to hold the dart, and as well as some E-tape around the barrel itself, and inside around the brass tube. These, I believe, this turret I think had to be widened just enough to be able to slot these barrels in, and or they were a bit too big and you basically had to glue these in. So like these, if one of these breaks, you're basically hosed, which really sucked. And because the tubes itself are loose on the darts, you needed the brass insert or some type of insert in there to be able to hold the dart, so that when it's pointed down, the dart just doesn't fall right out. So, there's a lot of modifications that you needed to do to get this working. Whereas basically what I've created now is the exact same end result that you would do to modify this. Printed out, everything is all done. It has the dart stop in there. This seats perfectly, so all of these are uniform as long as your barrels are all, the exact 12 foot, so they're not going to have them all kind of like half poking out or half in or whatever. But yeah, this works really well. It's a nice, I'm really happy with how this turned out, that basically this by itself is ready to go if you wanted to do this type of a build. Anyway, that is all I have for you guys today. We'll see you later.